Thanks for coming on down to another episode of...
We do it like a boom out. Boomhauer. Intro. Do your impression.
A boomhauer? I can't. Be like...
Adam does a pretty good one.
I can't. No, I can't. I can't. I just sound fucked up.
In horror we trust.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Well,
hello, ghouls and gals.
Ghouls and gals.
And we are back with another episode to
commemorate.
Yes. Our Scream
Kings. Kings this time, okay? You get that? Not queens, kings.
She's being aggressive, but we went over queens in a previous episode, and now we have to give our kings
We have to
some
show the
honor.
love.
Yeah. I will start by saying that I don't think men get this title very often.
Yeah.
I feel like, we kind of have our favorite men in horror films, but we're just going to give them that king title.
Yeah.
Because we think they deserve it.
Do they? No, just kidding.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Because men are usually just
the aggressors.
the aggressors or
The villain.
Yeah, or like just not
Or
a strong
throwaway object.
Right. Yeah.
When it comes to slasher films, they're just kind of slice, dice, bye-bye. So,
yeah.
we just want to honor the men that have, made a memorable impact.
Yeah. Stuck with us.
In horror films that we adore. We kind of went over our criteria for what we consider Scream Queens and Kings, but we'll kind of reiterate that for those that are just tuning in or listening to out of order.
Yeah, so they don't have to actually be screaming in the movie or anything. Usually a lot of the ones we do have on our list do show up in horror movies frequently. They don't have to, though. They could be in one horror movie, but they have just
a lasting impact in our minds that we think about, whether it be days, months, years later.
Yeah.
We just remember this particular person and we associate it with that film.
And usually...
Or many films.
Yeah. And usually they are the one that is experiencing the horror, the shit,
the main shit of the movie,
shit storm of the movie.
And this, again, not just our kings, but also was a qualifying factor for our Scream Queens as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With that being said, you want to kick our list off, Carissa?
Okay, well, I'll just start with, at least for me in my mind, he kind of comes across as the OG Scream Queen.
He's our Scream Queen.
Scream King.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
That phrase is, it's just
it's meaningless. We're gender free here. You can be our
absolutely.
Scream Queen or King.
Yeah,
we don't care.
We're in between.
Yep.
Yes, Bruce Campbell. The Bruce Campbell.
Brucey Bruce.
Brucey Bruce. Brucey Bruce. Obviously,
groovy, baby.
The whole Evil Dead series franchise, Ash vs. Evil Dead. Ash Williams.
Yeah, or with the newer counterpart that we are so very excited for.
Yeah,
Evil Dead Rise.
Rises.
Even though he's
Rises.
He may not be in that role, but just having him be associated with it whatsoever has us excited.
Yeah.
But Bruce Campbell.
I mean, he is so many people's favorites.
He's just so charismatic.
Yeah, absolutely. So charming, fun. You love to watch him in peril.
Yeah, not just in peril, but he's just fun on screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously he ends up fighting the peril.
Yeah. And he does it magnificently, I must say.
Care to share a line? An impression?
This is my boomstick.
Yeah. Groovy.
Yeah.
Just he's so quotable. Criteria number one. No. No.
You will find a rising theme with our Scream Kings is they're so quotable.
They're so
I can't. They're fun.
they're fun. We love them.
Yeah.
Come on, Evil Dead. Like
I just genuinely
so
don't think we need to like gush about Bruce Campbell all that much. Like if you get it, you get it.
Know.
He's great.
Fucking know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was the first person that came to mind when I thought of Scream Kings.
Absolutely. There was a handful, but he definitely stands in that crowd.
We have a good list. Let's see. Next we have Nicolas Cage.
Okay, can I just say, this one is so bittersweet for me, only because Nicolas Cage is fucking outrageous, man.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there are few films that I feel like hold nostalgia. Otherwise, it's just like, what are you doing, dude? But then Panos Cosmatos came out and gave Nicolas Cage kind of his redemption.
Yeah.
And let him perform at a full 11 this entire movie. And I think that's where Nicolas Cage kind of shines, is when he's just allowed to be outrageous.
Yeah.
And this role was so cleverly written for Nicolas Cage that it just worked. And I think it revived the last breath of this actor, and he immediately became like another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to get that out because Nicolas Cage is, like, we have some movies on this list where it's just like, what? Why?
Yeah. For instance, I mean, The Wicker Man remake.
Oh, God.
I need to.
Can we just.
The bees.
Can you play a clip?
Yeah. Play a clip.
What is it? What is it? What is that? What is that? What is it? Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Oh, my eyes!
It is honestly even more hysterical just listening to the audio.
Outrageous. Where it's just like, he can't just scream, but he's like, they're in my eyes. Like, what?
He just goes to fucking 11.
I love it. But
so fun.
highly recommend Mandy. I think that's just a role he shines in. If you like horror and if you like metal, give Mandy a try.
Honestly, I feel like Nicolas Cage is beloved now.
Yeah.
He is absolutely
I honestly give credit to this director.
Yeah.
I think he totally reshaped the idea of Nicolas Cage and presented it in a palatable way, and now everyone's like, yes!
Yeah. I know there are some older non-horror roles where he was pretty, like, crazy in, which I hadn't seen until I started seeing memes. You know, the Nicolas Cage meme?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that from? I had only seen him in kind of the more like
traditional stuff.
roles that he would do, like Ghost Rider.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, but like Con Air, Face Off, you know. So I was
he's great in those films.
He's great. He is great all around. But when I started seeing the roles where he is going just off
the rails,
but like in his way.
So this is
wow,
and not a horror movie, but I think one of the more memorable movies that I like remember Nicolas Cage being in was Valley Girl.
Oh yeah,
hilarity.
Yeah, Valley Girl. Raising Arizona.
Yeah,
great.
But okay,
back to horror. We're so sorry. People
Nicolas Cage
turn this shit
does
off
that.
by now.
I know, they're like, the fuck is this?
This isn't horror. Color Out of Space.
Yeah,
Follow up.
another great one.
Yeah, please watch that movie. It is awesome.
And
It
both of
is.
these films just, I mean, visually amazing.
Yeah.
And I think, again,
So
just...
visceral.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage is just honestly fantastic in these films. And if you don't believe us, and if you think, well, what the fuck are these girls talking about? Go watch them. Because you'll agree.
Please.
Nicolas Cage deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, he is a great Scream King. And I do get, like, the same charisma from, like, Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you let him just do his thing.
Just do his thing. Zombies!
Get your fucking asses ready for this. Get your ear holes ready.
My two faves. First, Justin Long.
Who's that? No.
Oh, bitch. No, I'm kidding.
I'm so aggressive this episode.
I know, I love it.
Yeah.
How can we not mention Justin Long?
Yeah.
Justin Long. Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
I mean...
Is that his first horror? I think
so.
Seems like it.
I mean, we could be wrong, but it's what I remember him in.
Yeah.
And then Justin Long was also in Tusk.
Yes.
Which was kind of
wild.
A very fun role reversal, seeing Justin Long play an absolute dick.
Yeah, this is our first glimpse of...
Yeah.
Because, you know, outside of horror and outside of being a victim in Jeepers Creepers, you see him in a lot of comedies and romantic comedies. And yeah, very great comedic and horror actor. An actor all around.
Absolutely. And then, I mean, you know, we've all talked about Barbarian.
Yeah.
Where he reprises that role of a dick. And he's still just as great in that film.
Yeah.
And then oh, go ahead.
I just want to say it is interesting in Barbarian that he plays a monster but a victim at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? So you get like Scream King, but also like
villain. Yeah.
It's an
great.
Interesting duality.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Barbarian's great, and I think it plays on a lot of that.
Oh yeah. For sure.
And then one of my personal favorites, Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi at his finest.
I want to rewatch that again. It's been a while.
It's good. It still holds up. So and then Justin Long playing the wife. Or wife?
Yes. We got this thing all
my god, we are so all over the place tonight, guys. I'm sorry, we're just having fun. We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah.
Justin Long playing the husband to the main protagonist, and even though he's not the full-on main character of this film, he still does a phenomenal job of just playing the supportive husband back to being that kind of like good guy that we all know and love.
Yeah.
And it's just great.
Again, when I think of Justin Long, I think of the horror movies.
Yeah.
And him being a favorite of mine. Whenever I see him in a horror movie, I get giddy.
Yeah. I feel like he's one of those actors where you mention his name and my mind immediately goes to one of the horror movies that he's been in. And he's just fantastic in all of them. Whether he has a very minute role or if he's like a major player in the film, I'm on board. Count me in.
Yeah.
And then my second love, Kyle Gallner. How could you not absolutely adore this actor?
Yes.
He was in Jennifer's Body.
He's been in a lot.
Haunting in Connecticut. Scream. The later Scream. Smile. The Cleansing Hour. Red State. Nightmare on Elm Street. And this list could go on and on. Yeah, remake. It could go on and on. I mean, this guy is great.
Yeah.
Kyle Gallner is another one of those names where if I see it, I'm absolutely down. I mean, it happened not that long ago with finding out that he was in Smile, and I was immediately like, I'm buying a ticket and I'm going to go see this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it did not disappoint yet again.
Yeah, I mean, for the past couple, Smile and the remake of Scream, we were both like, oh, Kyle Gallner's in it. Let's go.
And I think he's one of those characters that can kind of go back and forth, and he kind of portrays that duality of characters in horror where he can play a complete asshole like he did in Scream. Scream 5.
A curmudgeon.
Yeah. I mean, he just played a drunk dick in that movie. And then in other movies, such as like Haunting in Connecticut, he's just this like
sweet
innocent little boy.
Jennifer's body.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sweet
Colin,
little emo baby.
I know. I had a crush on his character, which is interesting, you know, like.
I feel like
eyeliner Kyle Gallner, baby.
Carissa and I have had multiple crushes on the men on this list. It's kind of
I'm sure we all have. If you're a horror fan, I'm sure you've had a crush on somebody.
Especially like if you grew up with these actors kind of playing in very influential horror films. Yeah. I think you just kind of can't help it. Yeah. They're just so charismatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, all great movies.
I gotta say, I mean, just a little fangirling inside one of a great moment on Twitter. Kyle is very interactive with fans on Twitter, which is very cool.
Kyle, be on our show!
Oh my gosh. If he does, guys, that is a dream. We would love to have Kyle on
I don't
our
even
show.
know if we'd be able to, like, talk.
I am very nervous. I need to get my shit together, and I need to plan this out. I'm a Virgo. I need to plan this shit out. I have to, because I'm like...
That's okay.
I don't want to lose train of thought. I need good questions to ask.
You could just pull all the good questions out, and then I can be the charisma that pulls you out of your shell.
Yeah, that's usually how.
Yeah, usually how we flow.
How we operate.
Yep.
but
please,
he spoke to me on Twitter, guys.
Kyle, please. I doubt you listen to us, but if you do, we're gonna tag you in this episode. Yeah. Please listen to us, and we would love to talk to you, to speak to you, pick your brain.
We love your work.
We love your work.
Can't wait to see.
I mean, everything you do.
I love Dinner in America, guys. Check that out.
Yes.
It's not a horror film, but it was super fun, super cute. To me, it was, if you like punk, it's got some punk heart in it.
Yes. I'm even gonna nerd out, Kyle. I even love your short films, like Trunk.
There you go. Oh my God.
So good. I know.
Pulling out the fucking cards.
Hardcore Kyle Gallner fans over here. Now, after that 10 minutes of you hearing us gush about how much we love him, we're going to actually get into like the nitty gritty reasons of why we are such hardcore fans of Kyle Gallner. I think he has such range where he can honestly play someone that we would absolutely despise, like in Scream 5, where we're just like, yeah, Ghostface, kill him, to characters, I mean, such as the little boy in Haunting in Connecticut or Jennifer's Body, where it's just like you are convinced that he is this person. Yeah. Regardless of the fact that it's an actor that we recognize, he completely envelops himself in the role. Yeah. And I think he's one of those actors as well that has a really expressive face. Yeah. And you can read the emotion on him.
Yeah. And he carries like kind of a stern look throughout, yet it's soft. Yeah. Stern, but soft. Yeah. You do feel for him a lot of the time.
Like a kind of perfect portrayal of that was in Red State, where he plays this like hardened teenage kid where he's just out to like experience this like very like, I mean, adult sexual encounter. But then as soon as things go bad, he kind of realizes the mess that he got into, and you kind of see him break down and become his age. But then once he realizes there's an out, all of a sudden he hardens up and he turns into this person where he's like, hey, I gotta buck up or shut up. And he tries to get himself out of that situation. So again, I think he just has a lot of range and he's just fun to watch.
That's really well said.
Yeah.
And
thank you. Kyle Gallner. Next on our list,
Devin Sawa.
Ooh, Devin.
You guys know him. You guys love him.
As Casper.
Ever since Casper. Oh, man. Casper.
Oh, little baby Casper.
But since Casper, some of our favorite horror installations include...
Since we were wee little babies.
Little babies. Idle Hands, of course. A little hard comedy for you.
Oh my goodness, Idle Hands. Can I just say the ridiculous amount that I quote that movie on a daily basis? Yeah. Like, I will legitimately go to like, I mean, something as simple as like, honestly, smearing butter on a slice of toast and be like, this thing won't even cut my fucking bagel. And like, I just like the dumbest little things like that. I mean, that movie is so quotable, and it's,
Yeah. And I mean, just coming from like a 90s baby. It's just, that movie is so nostalgic.
It is.
It feels so nostalgic.
And just that classic role that he plays of like a burnout stoner teenager.
Yes,
like, it's just so 90s.
Yeah.
But it's great.
And then next, of course, we have Final Destination, the first one.
Which I think is one of the most, how do I want to say this? It's one of those horror movies that I think has crossed all barriers, where everyone has seen at least one of them.
Yeah.
And it just like shook them to their core. Like, how many people can say that they can't drive behind a logging truck?
Yes, exactly.
Or are terrified to go on a roller coaster?
Or in a tanning bed.
Yeah. Or in
Roller
Devin Sawa's
coaster.
case, a plane.
A plane.
Yeah.
Which is playing off of a very common fear, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
not
probably
just-
accelerated or expanded that fear tenfold.
Absolutely. And not just a common fear, but that's something that for a lot of people, they do want to, on like a common basis. Like, flying on a plane is a very normal thing to do.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, Final Destination really kind of plays with just the fears of everyday life and how death can come for you from anywhere, out of nowhere, at any time, and allows us to really face that.
I think one of the more memorable scenes for me in Devin Sawa in this was when he was like literally setting up a saw trap for death.
Oh my god!
In the cabin.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, such a fun watch.
We gotta rewatch that.
Yeah. I mean, I think 1 through 3 were really like...
Yeah. Because that's what? The plane,
best.
the logging truck, and then the roller coaster, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then most recently, he's been in the Chucky series, the new Chucky series that's been on Sci-Fi, I believe.
Yeah.
Which it was just really cool to see him return to horror, and he's buff as shit. I mean, he does play a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Well, he actually plays so he plays twins in this. Which
Oh,
is
interesting.
wild. He plays the dad of the main protagonist, the boy. He also plays the uncle, so it's like brothers.
Okay.
Brothers. Yeah. To be honest, I have not kept up with the Chucky series, but I do want to. I have been seeing some recent tweets that very positive on where it's gone.
Okay.
And that it gets wild, like Seed of Chucky territory. That's what
gosh.
Meat said. Like just going for it.
I'm gonna have to get on that train. I just haven't gotten the chance to. But again, hearing Devin Sawa was in it, I'm like, down. Let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just I feel like he's been a very nostalgic pick, and you know, we saw him young and growing up.
Yeah, he's just
into horror.
been in a lot of our like nostalgic films
Yes.
that just kind of stuck with us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Usually a very charming character.
Yeah.
Next, Mr. Ethan Hawke. Man, I fucking love this man. I little crush on Ethan Hawke, little zaddy.
A little zaddy situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sinister.
Ugh.
Come on, Sinister was...
That's honestly, I think, my favorite role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. He was so fucking good in that role. And just that movie in general was like a breath of fresh air. It was different, and it was terrifying, and all the elements of that movie, the score, everything. His performance, that character is really interesting.
So interesting. And I feel like he feels like a real person.
Yes.
Like somebody you would encounter in your life.
Yeah. And he feels like an actual author. Like, I just totally bought like him being an author who had a really popular book. Now he's like failed to capture the same, success, and he's desperate to find his next big hit.
Yeah.
Which leads him into this crazy situation. And, when he starts finding these tapes, there's a specific scene where he's watching that lawnmower scene.
Oh, I was gonna mention that one. Yeah.
They talk about this in the 101 Scariest Movie Moments, and they said it very well. But that particular scene, which the scene itself was, the scare itself was set up super well, and I'm sure got all of us, or most of us, really good. But Ethan Hawke's reaction to that moment
was so...
I mean, it makes you jump, but it was just like... His whole body, his whole body language,
his whole
face,
entire body reacted to it.
Yeah, the way he jumped out of the chair, and it was just like, oh, so shaken.
Yeah.
You know, I was, like they said in that Shudder docuseries, you feel like he just saw like the worst thing you could ever see. Yeah.
And it made you like scared to see it progress, because you're like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
He's gonna have to face this.
I think that role, and then, or that moment in Sinister, and then my second favorite moment in Sinister is actually when he's fighting with his wife in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
That scene was just
tense.
It was so tense, and it was so convincing. But honestly, it was so heartbreaking, because Ethan, I mean, you just totally believed that it was this broken man who was trying so hard to like break through and provide for his family, but like realizing that that's all going to shit. And he's losing his family in the process. And just watching that fight, I was like, oh, it felt real. Like, it felt real. It felt like you were sitting in a bedroom of a couple and watching them actually argue.
Absolutely.
And that scene like really just stuck out to me. And that's one of the moments that I remember most of this film.
Yes. I mean, Sinister is our top reason why we have him on this list.
Yeah.
Of course, he's in The Purge, The Black Phone, and Daybreakers.
I actually really like Daybreakers.
Nice.
Daybreakers
Actually,
is a fun... I recommend it. It's a fun movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Love him. I would love to see him again in horror.
Yeah.
I find it really cool because he's obviously such a great actor outside of horror too, and being an older actor, well, middle-aged actor, whatever. You kind of wouldn't like think that they would want to go back into horror or go into horror just because, society deems whatever. Yeah. But just to see that he's down for roles again, like he did The Black Phone most recently, but just to see that he's down to just get into it and just will do any genre. And
I think that just like showcases his duality. Yeah. Like, he's just such a phenomenal actor. Yeah. And he really just buries himself deep in whatever character he's playing, where it's so convincing that, like, if he, like, it's just, Ethan Hawke's great.
I mean, like, honestly, I have so much respect for actors who have made a career, usually not doing or not being known for horror, get into horror later on. Because, like, I mean... I'm biased, but horror is like the best genre.
Yeah.
Horror is the best genre.
To see them cross on over into our path, it's like, fuck yeah.
Dude, the possibilities you can do in horror and the amount of emotion and range that you should be capturing in it, I don't know, I think it's like just a wonderful opportunity for people.
Absolutely.
But that's just me.
More of you, come on to horror.
Door.
And then next on our list is Daniel Kaluuya.
God bless it.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me just say I want more, obviously, protagonists of color in general.
Absolutely.
But Daniel, man, he really, like, I don't know. He just fucking kicked ass and really...
Honestly, I don't think this list would have been our list without including him, because he's been in some of the most notable horror films to come out in like the last couple decades. I mean, Get Out? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
Again, not to place a bunch of value on
No. But I mean, he's just so great. And I mean, his look too. He just has such like interesting introspective eyes.
Yes.
That like take
Perfect.
up most of his face, and I feel like you can read every emotion in his eyes.
I mean, that shit's the poster.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to see him act it or in facial expressions or anything, but you can see in his eyes when he's scared, when he's happy, when he's just chilling.
And again,
like,
it's subtle.
Yeah.
And it's completely unique to Daniel Kaluuya. Like, I have not seen another just evocation of fucking emotions as he does. His fucking tear, and when the tear comes out when he's under the trance.
There are not enough words in this world to describe how much we love Get Out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He's another one where I'll watch anything.
Yeah.
You know, he
absolutely. And then the more recent Nope, which, I mean, isn't your straightforward horror film, but I still do believe that it should get credit. Again, fantastic. I mean, I really, like, he's so quiet in his films.
Yet so captivating.
Yeah, like, he doesn't say much. He really doesn't, especially in Nope.
Yeah, it's almost like that, you know, that kind of effect you get with Tom Hardy a lot of the time. But much different and much his own.
Yeah, he's great. He deserves to be on this list tenfold. Daniel Kaluuya is great.
I love to see him in horror.
Yep.
Please do another one.
If he's in it, we're on it.
Yeah.
And next on our list is Anton Yelkin.
Yes. Rest in peace.
I know.
Miss him so much, dude.
I know. I just want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? We got some fantastic works from him. I know, again, this isn't considered to be straight horror, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Green Room, in my opinion, is like, again, that real life horror.
Yes.
And I honestly kind of loved seeing the underbelly of like the alt rock scene, punk rock scene, just kind of being showcased. And again, this is like an exaggeration, but it did have that very nitty gritty, like, okay, it's a band, we don't have very much money, let's pack us all in a van and, you know, travel across the country with bare bones necessities and just go and play shows for the love of music.
Yeah.
And I think he had such a captivating role in this film.
I think the thing about Anton that I see a lot in his films, especially in his horror films, is he feels like someone you would know. Like someone I'd know.
Yeah.
And reacting how I think a real person would react in this situation, where it's like shock. There's a lot of shock where it's not full-blown freak out, like sobbing, you know, screaming.
But I feel like
fuck, I'm fucked.
It's how a person would react, where it's like you can see the panic on his face, but he's not like it almost seems like he's still processing his fight or flight.
Yes.
Like, do I do something or do I run?
Yeah.
And it's just, there's something so just emotional and realistic about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially in Green Room's a great example of that.
He's also in Fright Night.
Yeah.
Which goes completely like the other route.
Right.
And it's just a fun
that one was really
horror
fun.
film.
Like, original is great. I really enjoyed the remake too.
We wish you were here to watch more of your films.
Yes.
But we love what you have out here. Yes. And then that goes to our next picks, which Carissa, ooh, don't make that face again. She's trying to creep me out right now. You want to see real fight or flight?
Cue window break. Christine jump.
Cue real scream queen in real life.
Yes. Patrick Wilson.
I think that says it all.
He's like very comforting. I think he does play like
he feels like a dad.
Oh yeah, he's just like dad.
He's like our horror dad.
He's the horror dad.
I know,
Pan
like
ultimate.
Not like Zaddy, but like dad.
Yeah. Ethan Hawke is Zaddy, Patrick Wilson's dad.
Yeah.
So of course, Insidious 1 and 2, the Conjuring series.
Yes.
And in the tall grass.
Yes.
I love him in all of James Wan's movies. He plays a very like, you feel safe with him, even though you're not, like, in the situation.
I feel like, though, that a lot of that has to do with his interplay with Vera Farmiga.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when they're on screen together, he makes her feel safe, and you can see that represented in their acting, so it immediately makes you go, oh, well, if she feels safe, like, I would feel safe with him too. I don't know. It's just that interesting kind of dynamic that they have.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously, he's still great on his own, but I think that kind of relationship that they share with each other on screen speaks a lot about his acting prowess.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, the comfort that I have through most of the time watching him is like, when you get the moments where he does panic, you fucking panic. You're like, oh shit. Like, I thought we were safe, but this is some real shit, and I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like, especially at least in the Conjuring series, it is usually when Vera is truly in trouble and he might not be able to help her, is when you get those moments of like real panic. And there's a lot of emotion there. And I mean, in Insidious 2, just Major Dad. Oh, okay. Well, I will say in Insidious 2, it was really fun to get him when he's possessed. He's possessed by the old lady ghost.
Yeah.
And to get kind of the dual play of this, you know, possessed. He's trying to act like Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Or, I think his name is Josh.
Yeah, I think so.
Acting like him, and then you see the little cracks breaking through, and you're like, oh wait, something's not right.
And when that's
So
done
unsettling.
well, it's so frightening.
Yeah.
And he does do that well.
Yeah. I love him, and I do usually, I get excited when I see him in a horror movie. I love him in Phantom of the Opera, I will say. But I mean, the one universe has really cemented his place on this list. Yeah. And I am excited. I am very interested to see Patrick Wilson is directing Insidious 5, the next installment. Obviously, I do know after the second one, Insidious has kind of gone
a little wild.
Yeah, a little wild. Definitely not as well done and not as effective as in my opinion.
But I will say I'm kind of excited to see Patrick Wilson behind the camera instead of in front of it for once.
This is his directorial debut, I believe.
And I think this is just a testament to how much we adore him as an actor, that we would not only be willing to see him in a movie, but we would be willing to see him direct a film.
Yeah. I think this is supposed to follow like what happened to his character and his family since the events after the second one.
Really?
Yeah. So he says, I'm honored and thrilled to be at the helm of the next Insidious installment, which will provide an amazing chance to unpack everything the Lamberts went through a decade ago, as well as deal with the consequences of their choices.
I'm actually kind of excited for this because I did want to see what happened after the second one.
Yeah, especially because they established that him and his son have a gift. Yeah. They're always going to be kind of in tune to the further.
Yeah. I was about to call it The Outside.
I know there's so many movies that kind of deal with this, like The Upside Down.
Yeah. When did I come up with The Outside?
The Outside.
It's just my fear of going outdoors.
Yeah. So Patrick Wilson. Another nostalgic one. Next we have Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett, such a heartthrob.
Yeah, such a classic heartthrob. You have The Faculty. No. Halloween H2O.
Yes.
Which is, a little little silly, but I love it.
I don't care how
fun.
goofy that movie is.
Yeah.
H2O will always have a special place in my heart.
Maybe the worst mask. No, I'm just kidding. It's a pretty goofy mask.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty bad.
And then 30 Days of Night.
Which is, honestly, out of those 3 movies, probably my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, that's where he's like, the first horror movie where he's like grown,
yeah.
grown.
Yeah.
That one was
insane. It was not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I was not prepared for it. I remember renting that shit.
Yeah.
Totally unprepared. So frightened. I did not want to go to Alaska. After that, I was like,
I was like, fuck being in the dark for that long.
Yeah.
I mean, I went into it knowing that it was going to be a movie about vampires, but I was not expecting these vampires to be as feral as they were.
Yes.
They were like absolute rabid dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly frightening.
Horrifying. And I feel like
the most horrifying vampire I have seen portrayed on film.
Yeah. And he played a great role. He played kind of this tortured soul.
Yeah.
And
but also a protector.
But even in that, I feel like you could still feel that pain that he's like, you know, been enduring since the beginning of the film, carried on with now like more burdens kind of piled up on his shoulders.
Yes.
And yeah, he's great.
You know, that kind of reminds me of like kind of the emotional battle from The Descent that the protagonist, the main girl, is dealing with, where they're dealing with their own emotional baggage, and then they're faced with this extraordinary
monster of a circumstance.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally and metaphorically. No, I never actually thought about that or put the 2 and 2 together. But
me neither until just now. But I'm like, I
absolutely can see that.
Just and the same effect.
Yeah. The Faculty, great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of plays a tool, but he's great.
Yeah. And then
his stupid drugs, scat. They're fucking dumb.
Oh man, I miss him, man.
I know.
Or at least, I mean, in horror.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's been a while.
Again, a nostalgic pick.
Come back.
Come back.
Josh Hartnett, come back
to us.
Come back. All right. And our last 2 Scream Kings, we gotta mention Cillian Murphy, man. Yeah. I mean, 28 Days Later.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I feel like the first time watching that movie, I was on this journey with him.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, okay, you're waking up out of this coma. Okay, things are wait, what is wrong? Just as he's figuring out, like, something's not right. And then when shit hits the fan, I feel like I felt that fear with him. Where I was like, what the fuck is going on?
And then there's that change. That change in him towards the last act.
Where it was just... it was so gratifying seeing him like come into this person where he's just like, nope, not tolerating it anymore.
Yeah, and it's almost like he almost acts like one of the infected.
Yeah,
because he's just silent. Yeah. He's just like kill mode. Yeah. But I don't know. The whole movie in general, I love so much. But yeah, his character was really strong because he seemed weaker, not a strong kind of.
But I feel like it's a very human. If you hear licking, that's Max. I feel like it's a very human way to kind of navigate this wild apocalyptic world. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm just gonna say it, these zombies were horrifying.
Yeah.
Rage zombies.
Oh my god.
Yes. I do not want to exist in a world if these zombies were a part of our life. No, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very well said. Because in the beginning, especially because he wakes out of a coma.
Yeah.
So he's very much like innocent, like untouched in this world.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have already kind of seen this shit, experienced it, he's hardened.
He almost has to catch up to that pace.
which
Yeah.
is he was so well captured
Yeah.
by him.
And just seeing him, I mean, the juxtaposition to like how crazy and just monstrous he becomes at the end,
Yeah.
but how gentle he is to the two women in the film after they face this like brutality.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really interesting.
It's so he's so brutal, but he's so
Yeah.
controlled at the same time.
Yeah.
Just
And I
very cool.
remember, like, as you say that, I remember scenes specifically where Cillian Murphy's character goes on this fucking rampage in one of the rooms, and he brutally murders one of the soldiers by sticking his fingers in this man's eye sockets.
Oh yeah.
And the main female in the film looks at him and she's ready to just bust his head open because she's terrified.
Yeah.
She thinks he's become one of the rage zombies.
Right.
And then he looks at her and I forget exactly what he says, but he says like a comment that's like between the two of them to her. And all of a sudden you see her just go, holy shit, he's not one of them. So again, that juxtaposition and like his absolutely like insane kind of highs and lows in this movie and how controlled, like you were saying, he is
and
Cillian Murphy's great.
The way he kind of returns to that soft self of his
Yeah.
when that ordeal is done.
It's
and they're
over.
like,
Yeah.
they that plane flies overhead and it's
Yeah.
very optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually very interesting because there are alternate endings to that
Oh,
movie
yeah.
where Cillian Murphy
Yes.
doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was like a gut punch. You're like, after he went through
Right.
all of that, you're like, no. He's great. And then he's also in A Quiet Place 2.
Yeah. I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But I was very excited. I was like, "Oh, Cillian Murphy!
Yeah.
I'm in."
Yeah. Haven't gotten around to it, but
He's in it's more of a thriller, but it's called Sunshine. It's more sci-fi, but very good film too. I would like to see him in more horror, obviously.
yeah.
Peaky Blinders is great, of
Oh,
course. Which
My
is what
God.
a lot more new people
Yeah.
who know him now know him for.
Know him from Peaky
But
Blinders.
I'm like, dude, watch 28
Yeah.
Days Later, man. If you want to see
Cillian
some brutal
Murphy.
killing.
Yeah. If you want to see him like actually go off, I mean, he does in Peaky Blinders, but go off the rails in other ways.
Yeah, he's quite a chameleon as well. He's also in Red Eye, which I mean, he's the villain.
Yeah, the villain in Red Eye,
But that's a
which
classic.
he does really well.
Yeah,
He has this like almost charismatic kind of allure to him in Red Eye. And then like once you find out that he's the villain, you're still just kind of like, oh, but it's Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
It's cold
Yeah.
but charming at
Yeah.
the same time.
That's a perfect way to put it.
yeah.
Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
And then last, but certainly not least, and I want to say this man is one of the newer Scream Kings, Alex Wolff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hereditary. Great. He
Yeah.
plays a younger kid. I mean, he couldn't have been more than like portraying a 16 or a 17-year-old in that film.
Yeah. Yep.
And God, the
Fucking anguish that he's like
yeah.
throughout that film.
Yeah,
that
I was
he-
looking for the right word and that's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, this moment was also described very well in 101 Scariest Movie Moments on
Yes.
Shudder. But they talk about the moment where
Ooh.
well his sister loses her head.
Yeah.
When he's driving her.
God, that scene.
Yeah, but his whole reaction to that scene again like just both Ari Aster's direction and his performance.
Ari Aster is sick.
Yeah.
But I love him
Yes.
so much. I mean, seeing his movies, you would just think that this man has the most traumatic upbringing ever. I mean, the way that he deals with like trauma. Oh, fuck, dude.
You know, you would think he would look kind of, I don't know.
You would think he would look a lot
bizarre.
more like a melancholy.
Right,
He's
but
this very joyful, like, man.
normal,
yeah,
you know, looking dude. But yeah, Alex Wolff. I mean, his performance in that scene in particular, and how he reacts to that scene, like just in complete shock, doesn't say a word, doesn't show barely any emotion, just in complete shock, slowly rolling away with the fucking body in the back, and then just going to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't go to sleep, but
he just lies
down,
awake in his bed,
and then hearing.
That scene was just so effective.
Yeah. I mean, that scene, but I mean, throughout the film, he is.
Yeah. I think one of my other favorite scenes that just shows how committed he is to his roles was a scene where he slams his head into the desk.
Oh my God. Yes.
So he actually does that. What? And he was asking Ari Aster if he could just smack his head into the desk. Damn. And Ari was like, no, we need to put some precautions in here. So they padded the desk. Okay. And he smacks his head, I think, a couple of times. And in one of the takes, like the final cut is some of his real blood because he fucked up his nose. Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
So
Alex, all right.
So Alex Wolff, yeah.
Yeah. And then the parts where I mean, like, there are times where he cries like a baby, but it's like the most torturous.
And it sounds like not just torturous, but he truly sounds like a child.
A scared child.
Yeah.
You know?
Where it's like goes to the root of like being a kid.
Yeah,
and
like
I know a lot of people thought it was hokey and laughed, but it's like if you truly understand the headspace that this character is going through, like I'd be crying like a little girl if I was going through that. So I have a lot of respect for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about a fucking scream king, man.
For real.
And I mean, just his whole relationship with Toni Collette in that movie.
I would just pay to see them on screen like that over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, the times where he's kind of trying to like make digs at her.
Yeah.
But then the times where he's just completely like broken and like.
And I think that it's really real. Like, it's really real. I feel like this is how a mother and son would react if they have a lot of buried anger and resentment towards each other. I feel like this is the way that they would interact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Fuck,
dude. Hereditary just, you think about it and it's amazing, but it also just fucking bums you out.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man. Yeah. Hereditary. And then Old.
Which I have not seen. But.
I'm sorry. I love Alex Wolff, and I do think he tried his best in this movie.
Just didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. we'll just
leave it at that.
But yeah, I'd love to see Alex Wolff in more horror movies.
Totally down.
Oh my god, he was so good. He's so good.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah.
Honorable mentions.
Should we crown first and then
let's crown. Crown.
We're gonna do first, second, and third place again.
Yes.
Starting with third place, our bronze crowned king of screams.
Alrighty.
Mr. Ethan Hawke, Zaddy.
Yes.
Himself.
Yes. Well deserved.
Yeah.
I love Ethan Hawke, and he needed to be on our top 3.
Yeah.
Like, it had to be.
Yeah. He deserved it. He's proven himself in a few horrors now.
Yeah. In a few horrors.
Yeah. Again, we've described our love.
Yeah.
So we shall move to the silver crown.
Justin Long!
Oh, it's just near and dear to our hearts.
I love him so much. He's just great, and he's nostalgic, and he's fantastic. He's fucking Justin Long.
He's he can do anything, man. He can do anything.
He really can. He can be our comedian. He can be our resident asshole. He could be our cute little
Sweetheart.
like sweetheart. He could be the victim, or he could be the villain. And we're down for all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Justin Long, baby.
Yeah. And that leaves us
Oh.
to the number one gold crown Scream King.
Christine, I'll let you.
And it's Kyle Gallner.
Kyle Gallner!
I feel like this is kind of unanimous. I mean, obviously we love Kyle, but he's just been in so many fantastic horror films that, I mean, we didn't even need to debate who our number one is. We were just kind of like, who's number? Kyle.
Yeah. I mean, like, thinking about making this episode.
Yeah.
Literally, we always thought about doing a Scream Queens
Yeah.
episode, because, you know.
I mean, how could you not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I was like, literally thinking of Kyle, I was like, what about Scream Kings? You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's just,
He was always in our thoughts.
yeah. And loving seeing him so much recently, you know?
Yeah,
More
and I
more.
just love seeing him play such different characters in
Yes.
every film.
He's quite a chameleon.
Yeah. You need to watch The Cleansing Hour.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I've
Yeah.
been wondering about that. I've been seeing it a lot.
I think you'll like it.
Yes.
And again,
Cool.
it's a different role that I don't think you've seen him in.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle, we'd love to have you on the show again.
Please. Because we know that you trust in horror.
Yes.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Alrighty, enough gushing about our favorites. Time for some honorable mentions.
Yes. Yay.
And I will let you begin.
Our first honorable mention is Elijah Wood.
Can't do a list of horror men without Elijah.
I
I'm
know.
sorry, you just
Yeah.
can't.
But yeah, I mean, first of all, Elijah co-owns a
A horror production company.
called Spectre Vision.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, not just horror, but
Yeah.
indie kind of films.
Genre.
Yeah.
But
genre
they
films.
do a lot of
Horror.
horror, and I know he is an avid
horror fan.
horror lover. Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, but one of my favorite horror films
Yeah.
that Elijah Wood is in is Maniac.
Yeah.
I think he,
is the remake.
I mean, I know a lot of people were hesitant on the remake, but he killed it.
Yeah.
He killed it.
And it's such a different
Yeah,
role.
take.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was a child actor. He started super young, but
Yeah.
you get The Good Son.
Which is very much like a thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
That's an intense one. And he was so good at so young.
So young.
Crazy.
Sweet little baby faced Elijah.
Yeah. Then The Faculty.
Yeah.
Again.
Co-stars with Josh Hartnett.
And then more recently, Come to Daddy,
Yes.
which I really liked.
It was
and
great.
It really surprised me. I was
Yeah.
like, that is not what I was expecting at all.
Especially with the title called Come
Yeah.
to Daddy. It just, yeah.
Love Elijah Wood. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
super cool to see. I was like, oh shit, he's a big horror guy.
and
Okay.
I just think that shows, like, again, I know we've talked about range a lot, but Elijah
Yeah.
Wood has range.
Yeah.
And I just
Quality.
love that he's a genre nerd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. My next honorable mention is Tom Atkins. So he's in Creepshow. He's in the prologue.
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah.
he's like, not having it with his son, reading the comic of
Yeah.
Creepshow. He's in the original The Fog,
Yes.
which was great. And then he is in Halloween 3, Season of the
Yeah.
Witch, which is a great
Yeah.
great movie on its
Yeah.
own. Yeah, he's just, when I see him, I do think of horror.
Yeah.
And is a really good classic.
Classic Scream King.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And we gotta have the classics in there.
Yes.
I know a lot of ours were kind of newer, like, actors, so it's kind of nice to throw in,
Yeah.
some of our classic men.
Yes. I'll let Christine finish it off.
Yes. So with our last two honorable mentions, how can we make this list without mentioning our icon,
You know.
Matthew
You
Lillard.
fucking know.
I mean, our sign-off is one of his quotes.
Yes.
Come on.
Come on.
Enough said. Do we really need to rant more about how much we love this man?
And this is mainly due to his role in 13 Ghosts. I mean, because obviously his most memorable is
we
Scream.
love him in Scream, but he's more of a villain in that film. He's not more of, he is.
Yeah.
13 Ghosts.
Yeah, he's quite a Scream king in this.
Is he a Scream king or a moan king? I'm sorry, but I think a lot of his screams sound a little moany, and it's kind of, it's a little comedic and it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I love his character. Is so
he's so eccentric in this movie.
He's like dorky but captivating. I love to watch him.
But Matthew sells it.
Yeah.
He sells it. Yeah. And then his just consistent drooling in the movie.
I mean, his death was
well, was it the Juggernaut that took him out?
Yes.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
The Juggernaut fucked him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He fucking broke his body in half.
Oh yeah, over the knee.
Fucking wrestling. Just WWE.
Snapped his spine. Yeah.
Yeah. In the fucking glasses.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
we love you, Matthew.
We love you, Matthew. Until we meet again.
Horror adjacent. More spooky. But he's quite a Scream king in Scooby-Doo, okay? Alright, Shaggy, come on. They encounter lots of ghouls and monsters.
Ghouls and goblins.
Yeah.
I also have a soft spot in my heart for him in Hackers.
Aww. Yeah.
Total 90s cheese, but...
And then, of course, SLC Punk.
Yeah. Oh. SLC Punk. That was, like, a staple of my, like, teenage years. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That movie.
Guys, watch it if you haven't watched it.
Devin Sawa also in that one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are...
Plays the kid tripping off of acid.
Yeah. And if you are an appreciator of punk, I think it'll resonate with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's kind of comedy. It's kind of tragic at the same time. Highly recommend. Again, just shows, I keep saying this word, but his range.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And last but not least, one of the more unexpected men. Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Like, Sixth Sense alone.
Yeah. He was such a baby.
Such a baby, but so fucking good.
So much talent in that kid.
I mean, the spots where he was fearful, and he was so emotional. Like, he just had a lot of emotion in that movie. But again, he wasn't like crying all the time, but just like, you could see he was so tense and so...
It's not a characterization from a child actor that you would expect.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You, I don't know. When I think of a child actor, I don't think of somebody that could pull this off.
Yeah, no.
But Haley Joel Osment killed it.
Yeah. And again, like, that scene with him and Toni Collette where he's talking about the grandma. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one makes me cry all the time.
Yeah.
And then when he starts crying with her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Or just, I mean, that more infamous line where he's just talking about seeing dead people and like the absolute terror in his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that movie.
Yeah, me too. It's one of those movies where I wish I could watch it like it was my first time.
Yeah.
He was more recently in Tusk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He stole Justin Long's girl.
So funny.
Yeah, it is.
So
it's really funny.
Oh my God,
just watching both of them see him as a walrus will never escape my mind.
Yeah.
They're coming out with a part 2, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I wonder where they're gonna go.
I can't.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh man, Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
To think that movie started out as a joke too is even funnier.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has the tusk suit.
Yeah.
Still. I mean, I think he said it used to hang in the shop in Comic Book Man.
I would not want to see that thing.
I would not either.
Ew.
Yeah, but anyway.
Just a walrus skin suit.
Ugh. Gotta show some love to our Scream Kings.
Yes.
And congratulations again, Kyle Gallagher.
Yep. And that, folks, is gonna end our episode on Scream Kings.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll update our list in the future, seeing who we get.
Give it a year or two, and we'll see if we can add a couple more.
Boom, boom. Yeah. And again, if you have your own choices, that please share them that weren't on this list.
Yeah, we would love to hear it. Yeah. And if you don't agree with some of ours, keep it to yourself. Alrighty, friends.
That does it. Episode
of In Horror We Trust. And you know what that means, Carissa.
We'll be right back.